Là, y a un homme qui a vu passer la tête. Faut toujours changer et pas rien. Même si c'est général et c'est président. Faut toujours faire qu'on change. Passer nous va passer. Passer nous va passer. Ça fait quoi, on sait que ça là ou pas rien. Passer nous va passer. Passer nous va passer. Nous finissons et nous va partir sans rien. Passer nous va passer. Moun ka viv kon yo ki te koyo. Koyo changer les jaja qui fait yo. Yo mette bagay la terre avant bon pied. Mais tout ça nous ka goume pouvoir. Si la terre nous ka quitter. Passer nous ka passer. Papa comprend que quelque chose là ou pas rien. Passer nous ka passer. Passer nous ka passer. Nous finissons et nous ka partir sans rien. Passer nous ka passer. Oui, oui. Sector Mr. Carter. Là, y a un homme qui arrive à passer la terre. Faut toujours changer et pas rien. Même si c'est général et c'est président. Faut toujours faire qu'on change. Passer nous va passer. Passer nous va passer. Papa comprend que c'est quelque chose là ou pas rien. Passer nous va passer. Passer nous va passer. Nous finissons et nous va partir sans rien. Passer nous va passer. Oh yeah. Baba soleil là. Baba la lune là. Baba c'est clair. Baba l'eau là. Baba la lune là. Baba soleil là. Oh. Moi je mets ton corps. Toujours changer. Changer. Ça nous fait ça, ouais. Changer. On le passer, nous va passer. Même mon beau, même mon petit, même mon moyen. Changer ça. Non, non, ça passer. Fini à partir 10 ans. À présent, pas ni. On les a changé ça. Little man need some charity. God don't want your money. Mr. Rich man make some charity. God don't want your money. A man that is there to be rich. A man like to considerate not that poverty not come upon him. Poverty not come upon him. You know it is easier for a coming to pass. Money to all when that kingdom. The rich man in the kingdom. Rich man in the kingdom. No way. No way. I'm here telling you no, rich man. Money cannot buy the kingdom. Oh, no. Rich man. Money cannot buy the kingdom. Rich man. Money cannot buy the kingdom. No. I know everybody wants to get rich. Put the money before the father. For the love of it, you're evil. For the love of money, you're evil. Judge them that are rich in this world. Judge them the one behind my discourse. Money cannot save you. No, it's my money cannot save you. No way. No way. I'm here telling you, rich man. Money cannot buy the rich man. Money cannot buy the price that you will. Rich man. Money cannot buy the oh no. A man that is there to be rich. A man lies and consider rich not that poverty shall come upon you. Poverty shall come upon you. You know it's easier for a camel to pass. You are need more to enter your kingdom than a rich man in the kingdom. Rich man in the kingdom. So no way. I'm here telling you no, rich man. Money cannot buy the kingdom. Oh no. Rich man. Money cannot take you into the kingdom. Never. Rich man. Money cannot buy the kingdom. Oh no. Rich man. Money cannot buy the kingdom. Oh no. Rich man.
Oui, avertissement pour la bouche. Le moment bouche qu'a tourné guerre. À toi, il part. Nous c'était plus bons amis. Oui, nous t'écartons pour une famille. Mais depuis nous séparés, on mettait au cas de parler. Tout manger pas pour manger. Et paroles en fait pour respecter. Tout ça vous jamais mal parlé. Les paroles en même temps condamné. Condamné. Oh, changer manière. Je te dis, maman de l'eau, toi, même là. C'était chéri doudou, pas tenir moyen, pas faire l'amour. Mais depuis pas mal laissé, pour mettre au cas méprisé. Fais attention, puis ça au cas dit. Pour des mots pas nager en dormir. Tout ça vous a mal parlé. Les paroles en même temps condamnées. Wow, tu vas voir. Ou pas tenir ailleurs bon pour dire. Allez, amis, on fait là. Ou pas tenir ailleurs bon pour dire. Allez, voisin, on fait là. Tu passes à dire bon pitié, pour pauvre dit mauvais. Là. Tu pas tenir ailleurs bon pour dire. Allez, l'ennemi, on fait là. Tu passes à dire bien, pas dire mauvais. Même si nous disons nous bien debout, tout chimé qui long in bout. Jodi ouvre là, ouye. Et de ne pas savoir où aller. Faut pas mal parler, faut pas taper pour les amis. Jodi ou mal parler, et de mes paroles condamnées. Ou pas tenir rien bon pour dire. Allez, faites-moi de là. Ou pas tenir rien bon pour dire. Allez, amis, faites-moi de là. Sous passe à dit bon pité, pourquoi vous dites mauvais? Faites-moi de là. Sous pas tenir rien bon pour dire. Assis pour cher, faites-moi de là. Je sais pas. What's up, pour? Ou pas tenir rien bon pour dire. Allez, amis, faites-moi de là. Ou pas tenir rien bon pour dire. Allez, amis, faites-moi de là. Ou pas tenir bon fils, pourquoi vous dites mauvais? Faites-moi de là.
If you know your favorite store, dial it now. 612-1253. That's Mega. You can rely on Mega for some real deals on name brand clothing and electronics. High quality, low price. We are a wholesale and retail store located in Calabishi, right on the main road. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram as Mega Deals Dominica. Like our page. Check out our stuff. Call us. Visit us. Would appreciate that. Come try it on. Love it. Buy it at Mega Deals. Your one and only online and brick and mortar store. Mega Deals is also on wheels. We make it convenient for your shopping. We deliver straight to your door. Email us at info@megadealsda.com. Rely on Mega Deals for some real deals.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's your final chance to be a winner. Yes, it's your independent lucky win. The United Workers' Party Grand Raffle set for the 26th of October 2024 outside the Prevost Cinema. First prize, the Suzuki Swift. Second prize, a brand new smartphone. And the third prize is a 32-inch smart TV. Tickets are on sale from the 21st to the 26th for only $5 outside the Prevost Cinema. The grand draw is on Saturday, the 26th of October 2024 outside the Prevost Cinema. Call 2650928 for your ticket. So, Abbott, you don't buy your ticket yet. But when you buy one for your auntie too. Bring your cooler. Bring your cooler. Bring turkey for your cheddar. For your cheddar. People number one all over. Number one. Make me in Dominica. Give me be nice. 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 When you come in the jam, you should have a baby in your hand. When you come in the van, you should have a baby in your hand. What we drinking? DBB style. DBB nice. DBB style. DBB nice. DBB style. DBB nice. DBB style. DBB nice. BB Spice Rum. It's more than just a rum.
BB Spice Rum, distributed by Belfast Estate. Drink responsibly.
You want to buy drinks at affordable prices? Check GBA. You want some shop for all your parties? Check GBA. We got rum at the bottle and drinks by the game. At GBA. We can make you live with a smile on the face. At GBA. When you shop at GBA. Located at 106C Independence Street, Roseau. Come back in the ambience of exotic rums and wines from all over the world. We have a wide range of bounty rum, Grand Fraser, Diplomatico, and so much more. Feel like drinking something fancy? No problem. We got a wide range of wines and the cup cocktails just for you. So come visit us today at 106C Independence Street, Roseau, where you will come sad and you will live happy. Let us be your agent for sourcing. GBA, let's take it one step at a time, because we are the drinking ambassadors of Dominica. Drinks at affordable prices, check GBA. The one-stop shop for all your parties, check GBA. Come shop at GBA.
Want to stay ahead in the world of electronic communications? Then you've got to check out Ectel Bytes, a production of the Eastern Caribbean Telecommunications Authority. We dive into the hottest topics affecting the telecom sector, from the latest innovations to the policies shaping your digital future. Tune in to Ectel Bytes on the last 3 Thursdays of this month, October 17th, 24th, and 31st. In the digital world, knowledge is your greatest asset.
After working hard for many years in London, Goldwyn is now retired and back living in Dominica enjoying his pension. He too shook a smile so we can see the gold teeth and too shook a yank. I met him coming out of Floss's with the help of some staff carrying different foods, drinks and meats to his vehicle. Myself too fast to go and ask the man what's up. Is their story start? And when we finish have I word, so the Kadimo de Sam Dominic to finish la hamwe. I said, Goldwyn, speak in English, don't force it. Then he said, I shop with intelligence.
All right, Dominica, good afternoon to you. Sorry, I apologize for the late start. Both my guests and myself were caught up in the hectic traffic, Independence traffic, and there's a cruise ship port on the port. And Damian Jr. Charles Boulevard. Traffic is packed up. As one of my guests had to walk from Portersville, I had to walk from all the way to TBS to be here with you, caught up in this hectic traffic. Dominica, good afternoon to you again and welcome. Welcome to the Talk on the Block. If it's on the block, we'll talk about it. I promised you from yesterday, and we're going to get straight into the matter, that we will be dealing with the issue of Vescott Jones and his attorney himself. They're here to present the latest information about the situation, the axing of Mr. Vescott Jones maybe 10, 11 years ago. And we have not seen a resolution just yet. Maybe for the year we've spoken to Vescott Jones on a number of occasions. He's expressed his frustration time and time again. But nothing. So let me say at this afternoon, good afternoon to Mr. Gilden Richards. Sir, how are you doing, sir?
Good afternoon, Matt. I'm not doing too badly.
Good afternoon to you, Mr. Vescott Jones. How are you, sir?
Good afternoon, good.
You good? All right, sir. Let me allow Mr. Gilden Richards to lead off in the discussion here with the frustrations of his client, Mr. Vescott Jones. Mr. Gilden Richards, good afternoon to you. Happy Independence.
Good afternoon. Same to you, Matt, and to the general public listening. Matt, you will recall that we were here earlier this year in relation to this matter.
Was it last month or the month before?
Month before. And we explained to you that the tribunal that was set up to deal with Mr. Jones's matter had heard the evidence of all the witnesses, accepting the completion of Mr. Badwell's evidence. Now, as far as we are concerned, Mr. Badwell should not be a witness in a case that he decided that is being appealed against him. but the tribunal decided to do that, so we tolerated it briefly. You recall we told you that we arrived at the juncture where Mr. Badwell was discussing the document or so-called document which formed the basis for his decision to terminate Mr. Jones's employment. He called that a standard operating procedure. When Mr. Badwell sat as the accuser, the judge, and the executor in his disciplinary tribunal, so-called, he gave evidence to himself. Contrary to Mr. Jones's evidence, Mr. Jones's evidence was that there was no standard operating procedure by which he was guided in relation to the decision he made. Mr. Badwell's evidence in the record of the evidence before Mr. Badwell told Mr. Jones, so Mr. Badwell is testifying to himself now, that he, Mr. Jones, was lying. The standard operating procedure were affixed to the machine he was working with, and it could not be removed. Before the tribunal to hear our appeal against Mr. Badwell's decision, Mr. Badwell told the tribunal the standard operating procedure was in a big book, and he had difficulty locating the book to find those procedures. Effectively, in our view, Mr. Badwell was saying to the tribunal, there was no standard operating procedure by which Mr. Jones could have been guided, because if it was in a book, it could not have been affixed to the machine that Mr. Jones was operating. The tribunal adjourned for Mr. Badwell to find the book with the standard operating procedure several years now, and Mr. Badwell has not returned. Mr. Badwell was the final witness in that matter, which means the matter is complete. The hearing is complete and should now be awaiting a decision, because it is our view Mr. Badwell should not be a witness in an appeal against his own decision. Okay? But Mr. Badwell has not returned. Then suddenly we are getting a letter from the minister dated April 23rd, 2024, received by us in May, requesting that Mr. Jones appear before a tribunal. New members, excepting one that sat on the previous tribunal, for the matter to start afresh. No explanation with respect to...
All over again?
All over again. No explanation as to why the decision of the first tribunal has not been forthcoming. We did not respond to that letter. We are here first to complain to the public, because I believe the public has an interest in the quality of justice that is dispensed at that level in Dominica. And the abuse that is now taking place in relation to Mr. Jones is not an abuse that anybody should tolerate, irrespective of which side of the spectrum he stands. Because it is public money that is spent, it is public time, everything has a value to it. And this quality of waste, this, I don't know how to call it, but it is definitely gross waste. And not only that, it is an affront to justice, disrespect to Mr. Jones, and even more so disrespect to me, that they will not write to Mr. Jones, they write to me like they can command me to appear before a new tribunal without an explanation why the decision of the first tribunal has not been made. So I believe the public must digest that and think, we believe it's victimization, we believe it's a gross abuse of justice, we believe that it is something about Mr. Jones and where he comes from. And I believe it is also something about me, because, Matt, en passant, I'm telling you, an allegation, I have to say it's an allegation because somebody's accusing that I received something that I did not receive. The Minister of Finance at the time went to Parliament, presented a document in Parliament, saying out of monies that the government owes me, he had paid me $700,000. And he asked Parliament to approve that payment I had already received. And Parliament approved that payment. And Matt, to this date, I have not received a cent. So I'm just showing the trajectory of injustice, corruption.
So you have not received 1 cent?
Not a single cent. But the Honorable Speaker of the House cannot see that there is a gross lie on the record of Parliament that he, as Speaker, should not tolerate. I've brought it to his attention several times, but I say so only after sir, because I'm here to deal with my client's issue. And it's a very important, critical issue that the public needs to consider.
Let me ask Mr. Gillen Richards, based on the letter you just presented,
that
was written to you by the minister.
Yeah.
You chose not to respond.
Yes.
Are there implications or repercussions?
The implication is that nobody should expect us to respond without an explanation why the decision of the first tribunal has not been forthcoming. As far as we're concerned, that tribunal was adjourned to allow Mr. Badwell to return to complete his evidence with the documents or whatever that formed the basis for his decision to terminate Mr. Jones's employment. So as far as we're concerned, that document does not exist. There is no basis now for a tribunal to be calling us back to hear something. Because if that document existed, it should have been shared with us. That is the normal process. We do not have that document. If Mr. Badwell got it, somebody should have sent it to us. We don't think we have a duty to respond to a letter like that, where the evidence on which Mr. Badwell relies is not in our possession.
How many years have you been before the past?
10 years, Matt.
10 years.
It's approaching 11 years.
10 years.
Matt, somebody thinks we don't have patience. We have patience. Because I have seen...
You have no patience at the hospital.
Matt, Matt, I have seen people misbehave in this government. Arrogant, foolish. But we all have a time and we pass through. We go by. The power with which they once spoke is now lost. The voice with which they commanded people's attention, insulted people, is now at the mercy of our Maker to terminate it at any time. And if people do not learn from that, then where do we go?
And I had the Minister of Security this morning speaking about justice.
Yes.
Also, how do you defend justice?
Mr. Blackmore is my friend. We meet and we speak casually, but I don't believe Mr. Blackmore has the slightest idea about the quality of justice. I believe Mr. Blackmore, when he speaks like a fool. With due respect to Mr. And don't try to stop me. If Mr. Blackmore is a fool, I have a right to say he's a fool and a damn fool. So he sounds beautifully stupid. And I want this phrase to go out and let it be repeated every time Mr. Blackmore speaks. He sounds very beautifully stupid. But it's not my business to let him, to fertilize his mind with something more prudent and brighter for him to speak. So let him continue to speak, believing that he convinces people.
The last time you were here, I got a call from Mr. Badwell. And I think he said, not verbatim, he said, ask Mr. Jones whether he had to deal with any other matter as it relates to the crabs, and you dealt with it professionally.
Don't answer that. We're not here to answer any question from Mr. Blackmore. As far as I'm concerned, he does not exist.
Not Mr. Blackmore, I'm talking about Mr. Badwell.
Whichever. We are not here to answer that question. I will speak for my client now. Do not answer that. Let's deal with the issue before you now, because we already are running out of time. I love you, Matt, so please use your time prudently. Okay? So, Matt, that is the situation in which we are.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a situation that all Dominicans should consider. Is it that what we want? Is that what we promote? And you know what? In all of this, there is a wife of a preacher involved in it, saying she's a permanent secretary, and she cannot see the injustice. I am here to expose everybody who is involved. There is one in the labor division. We relied on Mr. Paquette to be just. He too is on the corruption. I suppose he's waiting for confirmation of his appointment. But we will not respond to this letter until we get an explanation why the decision of the first tribunal has not been made and the reason for it not being made. We also intend to ask for the transcript of the proceedings of that tribunal. Because, Matt, I have a very strong suspicion.
You don't have the copy of that? No.
They're supposed to give us a copy. We never got a copy. I have an exceptionally strong suspicion. So I'm going to ask for the transcript of that, the hearings of that tribunal.
You confident you'll get it?
I am not confident, but there's nothing better than for you to ask and being refused. So I will come back here to tell you that I did ask and I did not get it, either by failure to give it to me or by refusal to give it to me.
Mr. Jones, how do you feel 10 years later?
How I feel
about the whole situation?
It's showing we live in a country where it's full of wicked people.
Come a little closer to the mic.
Matt, we in a country full of wicked people. Full of wicked people. And it's clear for everybody to see, I don't have to be your son or somebody don't have to be my mother to see clear what's happening. It's victimization. It's trying to show young people, bring fear in them. So anytime you're standing up against something that is wrong, they're trying to, how I look at it, they're trying to use me to show you cannot stand up to the authorities. But Mr. Richards, he said some things earlier on, but I have some things to say as well. I don't want to take up too much time. 10 years is plenty years. And I want to sink that in. Not only 10 years is plenty years. I taking care of my amputee, my mother have an amputated leg.
Yes.
My sick mother.
She's an amputee.
Yes, she's an amputee. Think of it. You taking care of your mother. Diabetic. Sick mother. 10 years. So you don't see somebody don't have a conscience? But it have a time I'm not going to come here. I'm not going to come here. So if I tell you it have a time I'm not going to come here, you should understand the message. It have a time I'm not going to come here. The Prime Minister is very wicked. He is the one. Badwill is a scapegoat under Skerrit. Skerrit having Badwill doing jujunis. It's the Prime Minister that having it. That have all that what are going on there. Everything that going on there.
You think it's the Prime Minister?
The Prime Minister. Because once you can come to my home, you call me a first time, and you show me clear you're going to fix it. The last time we was here, this is the receipt. This is the receipt of what he paid.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
18,542.
Mm-hmm.
Does that not show, Matt, an understanding that he has been wronged?
Of course.
Look, Bad will say on the 16th of January that look what you just said there. Look it. And he talk about his standard operating procedure in January 2015 and in 2024, and he cannot present the standard operating procedure. And he talk about it to the Chronicle. Look at it, January 2015.
Mm-hmm. January 2000. Yep, 2015.
Definitely. And up to today, he cannot bring the standard operating procedure. So tell me, and he line to the tribunal, line, and the tribunal not see line?
Well, the point is, I believe somebody has not allowed the tribunal to arrive at his decision.
Yes.
Because every tribunal...
That's your conclusion?
Yes, every tribunal is appointed for a specific time. When that period expires, you have a choice either to reappoint them to complete or not to reappoint them at all. And the law provides that a decision can be made even if one of the members of the tribunal is missing.
How many members on that tribunal?
3. Now you'll notice in the newly constituted tribunal, they take two people from Social Security, over which the government has jurisdiction. That today or tomorrow the government can tell you no longer have a job. So you can see where the decision will go.
You anticipate where the decision will go.
It is obvious where it will go. They don't have the balls to say to the government, you are wrong, and therefore even if we lose our job, we are going to be fair. None of them. You remember our case, Matt?
Mm-hmm.
You remember what was attempted? You remember how I spoke?
But tell me, Mr. Richards, have you had a chance to speak with the minister involved? Ms. Miriam Blanchard?
No.
No?
No.
Would you speak to her about the situation
If he invites me, I will speak with her. But I know that she herself, and I don't want to blame her because I know who controls her.
She doesn't have the boss to talk to you?
None of them. They're weak people.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if we can get a few phone calls because I'm sure others want to give their 2 cents to that. Hello, talk to me, yes?
Yeah, Matt, good afternoon to you, my brother.
Good afternoon to you, sir.
Attorney Gillian Richards and to my partner, Vesco Jones. Matt,
okay.
I want to find out from Vesky or his lawyer if they know about a guy they call Ronald Charles. Not the attorney Ronald Charles, the brilliant Ronald Charles, deputy leader of the United Workers' Party, you know, Matt. An idiot working in the Ministry of Forestry. We want to know his relationship with Badwill and Skerritt in all of this, Matt. If he was the one advising Badwill and Skerritt to pressure Vesey and them to make that arrest because he's working in the Ministry of Forestry.
I'm trying to get the connection there, Brian. Can you put the pieces of the puzzle together for me, please?
Yes, Matt, because the forestry, Matt, has to do with that this wildlife business. And Ronald Charles, the idiot on Kyrie Radio talking nonsense for Skerritt every time. He was the forestry officer involved in the whole fiasco. So we want to find out, Matt, what is his role. That is what I hope Badwill is listening. He's listening. Badwill, what is Ronald Charles' role? Ronald Charles, the forestry officer. What is his role in all of this? What Vesey has been going through for the past 10 years. Ronald Charles, the forestry officer. We want to call out the wicked people in Dominica. So we need Badwill when he's asking questions. We want Badwill to send an answer for us to tell us about Ronald Charles, the Labour Party political operative / forestry officer on Kyrie Radio. We want to know what is his role in all of that. The Ronald Charles, the bad one, not the good one. Thanks a lot, Matt.
Are you there? Are you there still, Baron? Question.
Yes, I'm there.
Question. You guys are giving Mr. Vesey a lot of support in the Marigot area?
Oh, yes, Matt, and we're just waiting for Vesey to tell us when he really set up for us to take it to the next level. You check? That is all we're waiting for Vesey to tell us when he set up for us to take it to the next level. And when we're taking it to the next level, we will be including everything, Matt, because it's a common problem we have. You hear Vesey tell you who that wicked or Skerritt wicked? It's Skerritt that is wicked with all of his goons around him. So when Vesey is ready, Matt, we will be ready with him and we will be bringing in everything in that soup, Matt. It's just one big callaloo we're making when Vesey is ready, Matt. Thanks a lot, my brother. You ask me no more question on that. I finish with you.
Thank you, Brian. But Vesey, you did make a statement earlier, you know, you're not going to be coming back here and talk all the time.
Don't explain.
Why don't you want him to explain, Mr. J?
Yeah, because you should understand he's just not coming back. What is in that?
So this is the last interview we're having.
Well, what is in that you don't understand? He's just.
I'm saying, but are you saying to me this is the last time he'll be here on radio?
I didn't say I can come without him.
Oh, okay, I understand. So you can come back.
Or we can come back in a different context.
In a different context. When do you expect? You said you're not going back to this tribunal if you don't get an explanation.
I'm not obeying that call to appear before tribunal without an explanation for the reason that the decision of the first tribunal has not been forthcoming.
Is there a timeline?
I don't know there is a timeline, and I can't impose a timeline on them, but prudence should be bearing on them. All right? Because as often as we come here, I know they will not admit it, their conscience must be eroded, and the strength of the Dominican people, their conviction and the craving for justice will grow.
Let's just get another phone call. Are you there, caller?
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
Matt, as number, good afternoon to your guest, I forgot.
Good afternoon.
Matt, you should understand from the time Bessie says he's not coming back there. You have no question to ask him because a little baby would understand why he's not coming back.
And some people will not understand why he's not coming back, so I need an explanation.
Well, I cannot be smarter than you are. Let me tell you. Mr. Richard, you from this side down there?
He's from the western.
All of me, ma'am. Yeah. All of me.
All of him.
Very well. It seems as though, I have to say it again, this gang, this is not a government, has a problem with the people with Wesley Marigot. I cannot understand that. This is a problem he has, especially with Wesley and Marigot. I know he doesn't like Thursday, but I know he have a problem with Wesley and Marigot. And Wesley, anytime you don't decide to come back there, just tell us what to do. And we will join you. If you're not coming back, you go in and sit somewhere, we'll go and sit somewhere with you. And that is it. But bye-bye. Have a good time. And play Se Pase Nuka Pase for Roosevelt for me, please.
All right, Lucille, thank you very much. We're going to take a break. We have more questions coming up right after this, Dominic. Stick around.
Attention homeowners, contractors, tradesmen, and all. It's great news from Eaststar Trading Limited. Just received a wide range of German premium quality power tools, vacuum cleaners, cement mixers, power wash machines, and more. And grass cutters at only $595. Visit our showroom upstairs of the supermarket on the bayfront for world-class Ronix power tools, swipers, power car wash, spray guns, and many more items, all at 220 volts to 50 hertz, and all at affordable prices. Eaststar Trading Limited, making a difference for you.
NDC presents the Crayon Cooler Fest, November 3rd. All roads lead to Pegua Bay Riverside for the biggest cooler fest on the Northeast. Live on stage, the Bouillon Specialist, TK International.
Boy, shout the whistle.
Signal Band.
So let we have a good time while we party.
Nice.
Everybody getting wild.
With music juggling by DJ Taffy and the crew, DJ Flip the Boss, DJ Happy, Inches, the Creole Cooler Fest, November 3rd at Pegua Bay Riverside. Admission is only $40 in advance, $50 at the gate. Band time, 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. Come in your best mattress and white outfits, enough drinks and plenty food. It can't be independence and enough it's without a breadfruit. Lots of breadfruit dishes will be on sale. Creole Cooler Fest, November 3rd. Book that date and see you there.
You want to buy drinks at affordable prices? Check GBA. You want some shop for all your parties? Check GBA. We got rum at the bottle and drinks by the game. At GBA. We can make you live with a smile on the face. At GBA. When you shop at GBA. Located at 106B Independence Street, Roseau. Come back in the ambience of exotic rums and wines from all over the world. We have a wide range of bounty rum, Grand Fraser, Diplomatico, and so much more. Feel like drinking something fancy? No problem. We got a wide range of wines and a little cocktails just for you. So come visit us today at 106C Independence Street, Roseau, where you will come sad and you will live happy. Let us be your agent for sourcing. GBA, let's take it one step at a time because we are the drinking ambassadors of of Dominica. Drinks at affordable prices, check TBA. The one-stop shop for all your parties, check TBA. Come shop at TBA.
This is Asa Banton, your Tropical Water Ambassador, with your hurricane tip for today. Be prepared. Being prepared before a hurricane threatens makes you resilient to the hurricane impacts of wind and water. It will mean the difference between you being a hurricane victim or a hurricane survivor. Be prepared and remember to stock up on tropical water.
All right, Dominica, we're back. Mr. Richards.
Yes.
What would make this case go away for you?
Delivery of justice. And wherever they rule, we take it from there. But there has to be a ruling from the first tribunal.
Delivery of justice. Can you expound on me a bit?
Well, the evidence, so far as the evidence shows, there is no basis for Mr. Badwell's decision. The matter should be resolved in favor of Mr. Jones.
How far are you prepared to take this if this tribunal doesn't
So far
work?
as it's legally necessary.
You've been fighting this for 10 years.
Well, 10 years is a short time.
A short time.
For justice, yes. For Mr. Jones, it must be a long time because he suffers. But our resilience to wait for the coming of justice never wanes. See, because if you allow it to wane, who is the victor? They. I don't know Jesus Christ ever allowed Satan to win. We are not prepared to follow that course.
Mr. Jones, you're going to keep fighting?
I must keep fighting.
Yeah.
The prime minister is wicked. He's the one. When he's sleeping at night, he have to say to himself, boy, what are you doing? I need to just stop it. He have children. He's the one. I don't even talking about Badwell. The prime minister is the one. He's the one.
And Mr. Blackmore.
Yes.
Before all that Mr. Blackmore is saying in relation to this or any matter concerning Mr. Jones, Mr. Blackmore actually pushed Mr. Badwell to do what he did.
Yes.
Mr. Badwell told Mr. Jones that. There lies the political content in the Mr. Badwell's decision.
He pushed him to do it.
And Mr.
We are prepared to tell you everything that we did not tell you before. Mr. Badwell told Mr. Jones that Mr. Blackmore pushed him to make the decision. So I don't want to hear Mr. Blackmore on this.
While I have you here, I want to switch to this. We'll come back.
Yeah.
We heard from Mr. Blackmore this morning speaking about protest action and their laws, protecting, if you will, the police or to get citizens to cannot behave themselves because there are laws against this. Can you speak to that for me, please?
Well, there are laws to control public behavior that is not overly offensive, but there are also laws that protect public protest. And it therefore means that there must be the right balance must be struck between what the police can reasonably do and what they can't. I listened to the news in relation to a decision purportedly won by the government in relation to I believe if the judge had the evidence in relation to the state of traffic, I don't know if the judge had that before him. The judge probably would have arrived at a different decision. Because I was there, very present, and to facilitate the protesters, the police deliberately barricaded that area that went down to Macmillan's gas station. And traffic could easily flow up into Turkey Lane. So there was no obstruction of traffic because the police themselves had already stopped the flow of traffic in that area. I remember when Lennox was about to speak, I was the one who went up to him and told him just keep it cool because I saw where it was likely to end.
Let me see if I can take a phone call. Are you there, caller? Yes?
Yeah, I'm still here, Matt. I'm patiently waiting.
Go ahead, sir. Go
Matt,
ahead.
I want to join Mr. Jones to say something about the Prime Minister. But let me first ask you, Matt. Isn't that same Prime Minister that said that he's faster than the government? He didn't say that one time?
Repeat what?
He's faster. He works faster than the government itself.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't he say that one time?
Yep.
Can you remember?
I remember.
But Matt, I called to join Mr. Jones. Everybody know my voice. I'm not a man that promotes wrongdoing. But Matt, the Prime Minister is a wicked man. When I listen to Mr. Jones saying his mother is a I don't have no big word to use. Her mother have one leg. This is the Prime Minister that say he love the senior citizens, the old people then. Mr. Prime Minister, you are not ashamed. Hear my voice. You are a wicked man. Get means and ways to pay the man. This is criminality. Every preacher in Dominica should write you a letter today and tell you to stop that garbage and pay the man. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you too. 449-3095-96 and 97. I have a contribution that we got this morning. I think it's almost in relation to what we're talking about. Let's hear this for a few minutes.
Good morning, Matt, and good morning to all Dominicans.
That was this morning.
Good morning, Mr. Blackmore. I would like to congratulate you, sir, for calling in on the radio station this morning and speaking to the rule of law. But, you know, Mr. Blackmore, it would be a good thing because you are the Minister of Security for the entire country. You are not the Minister of Security for the Labour Party. I heard you talking about the Labour Party and what have you. Yes, you're part of the Labour Party. I want to think when you were the PAL rep for Maho, then of course you are the Minister of Security. As I said, you are the Minister of Security for the country. So you should be doing more of what you're doing. You should come on the radio station. You should sit down and have a discussion with the Dominican people because we have questions that we need answered. And I have a lot of questions that I need that needs answering too. Yeah, okay. But when you spoke about the law and how it's what it applies, you're talking about the law in a democratic country. I don't think you're talking about Dominica because that does not apply to Dominica because that very same law has been violated and flouted by the government, by the regime that you are part of. It has been. So sometimes it seems that, you know, the law is only applicable to persons who don't support the Labour Party. And that is not right. That is unfair. That is very unfair. So you have been part of a government where persons are being, you know, paid to contest the elections. And you know that, Mr. Blackmore. We are not in a country where noble men and women, you know, submitted themselves to serve their country in the spirit of patriotism, in the spirit of integrity and nationalism. We are not in that kind of sphere anymore. We have moved away from that because that is what your government has brought to the people. And because of that, we have slipped into a dictatorship. We were serving a one-man rogue regime, which is Roosevelt's carrot. However, Mr. Blackmore, if you know the law so well, why don't you apply it across the board? Why don't you apply it? You know the law so well, but yet you are part of the most corrupted and criminal government that has ever governed in our country. And you know why I said that, Mr. Blackmore? Because that Labour Party, that government has violated the law. You all have violated, you all have flouted, you all have pissed and spat on every section of our Constitution. And that is the same Labour Party that you are a part of. You all have bastardized the Constitution. And as the Minister of Security, where were you when Mehul Choksi was kidnapped into Dominica with the involvement of this very same police? The police supposed to be more or less your subordinates. Because you are the minister of security. You are the head of the police. You are, what did you do? You know that a man was brought in against his will, sitting in a cell in Dominica. What did you do, sir? What decisions or accountability did you demand from the police with all the extra judicial murders in Dominica by this very same police? And how does your conscience keep you quiet on all the persecutions of opposing political persons in Dominica? How is that? How is that you are so quiet and you know for a fact that the gang that you are part of, you know it's persecution and they're turning noble men into criminals?
Gillen, do you agree? A lot of what's going on in Dominica is persecution.
Well, I mean, there can be clearer evidence than we have now. And the lady is largely right. But when you speak about the rule of law, I believe Mr. Blackmore misses the focus of the principle. The rule of law is intended to ensure that everything government does in relation to the people is in accordance with law. Our supreme law is the Constitution of Dominica. Mr. Blackmore wants the virtues of the principle, the rule of law. The Constitution says clearly, any monies you collect in the name of the government must be lodged in the consolidated fund, unless another law permits you to keep it elsewhere. We have billions of dollars now in the hands of an individual abroad without constitutional authority, without permission based on any other law. And Mr. Blackmore sits in a cabinet tolerating that, clearly contrary to the principles of the rule of law. And he wants to educate people in the rule of law. Can I ask you to do something for me? Can you arrange for Mr. Blackmore and I to meet here in a civil discussion on the rule of law one of these days? Arrange for just a civil discussion.
Civil discussion.
Yes,
you can keep it civil.
I believe the public in Dominica deserves it. I remember some time ago I similarly told you I would like to debate a certain lawyer. And I would prefer it to be impromptu. And you never got there. I'm sending an invitation out to my good friend, Mr. Blackmore. We are both former police officers. He was never as industrious as I, and he never could be. All right? Because there was nothing beneath me as a police officer. I used to mix with everybody. That's why people meet me now. Even today, I was at Dupinis. There came this man. So you prevent me from going to prison. You gave me a whole lesson, sir. And I have changed. I'm so different. I couldn't even remember the man's face. So I used to engage everybody. Mr. Blackmore can't say the same thing. All right?
Let's see if we can take a phone. Hold that thought. All right, so on the telephone, yes, let's take this phone. Are you there, caller?
Yes, Matt, I'm there.
Yes, hello.
Yeah, Matt.
I'm here, go ahead.
Matt.
I'm here.
Matt, I want to ask the lawyer how he feels about the fact that Dominica does not have a leader of the opposition. Because he mentioned many things that were wrong with the government, but he didn't mention that one. And that is the one I am stuck on. Because the president involved, Roosevelt Skerritt nominated that president, and we do not have an opposition leader. I'd like to hear his thoughts on that and how people should react to it in general. Thank you.
Well, the Constitution is clear. It says there shall be a leader of the opposition. It says how the leader of the opposition should be appointed. And government, obviously, is not complete without a leader of the opposition, as it is not complete without a parliamentary commissioner. There are functions that the prime minister must perform, but he cannot perform fully or totally without the leader of the opposition. For example, if it comes now to appoint a chief of police, he must consult with the leader of the opposition. Where there is no consultation, there is no proper appointment. And a number of other things that the leader of the opposition is necessary for in Dominica. There is a reason when parliament is dissolved, the office of the leader of the opposition remains intact. That is in recognition that the government remains in place but cannot function totally and fully without the assistance of the leader of opposition in certain respects. And therefore, if the Constitution speaks to the president must move to ensure that there is a leader of the opposition. When it comes to the sharing of time in debates in Parliament, there is something special given to the leader of the opposition because of that office. So for anybody to be tolerating the absence of a leader of the opposition in Parliament in Dominica is, to me, almost criminal. Because it's like you're allowing the government to do whatever it wishes without substantive responses that can be respected from coming from the leader of the opposition.
Let's take a phone call. Are you there, caller? Yes?
Yes, Matt. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon to your panelists.
Yes.
And good afternoon to Dominica. Matt, it has been brought to my attention that my comments may have triggered Minister Blackmore calling your program this morning. But I want to say that Mr. Blackmore has no moral authority to call and to speak on law or the rule of law or governance. Mr. Blackmore should resign. And anybody within that government that feel they have any metal, any sort of moral authority should resign from this administration. You are part of one of the most, you are in the bouillon of corruption. Mr. Blackmore, in my view, the management of his ministry and the sort of corruption that has been circled around that particular ministry, Matt, it is a disgrace for Mr. Blackmore to come on radio talking about rule of law. But that is the area, since the sale of our passport has gone dry, that is one of the main source of income within that ministry, Matt, with the Haitians and the Spanish visas and passports. But that is where corruption lies. And he should resign under his watch. Matt, imagine, and that's where I have told Dominicans that Roosevelt Skerrit and his administration doesn't want to see poor people survive. They hate farmers. They hate the farming constituencies, Matt, for such simple reason. They refuse to give us permission to bring in Haitians. Roosevelt Skerrit bodyguards can bring Haitians in. You understand what I'm saying, boss?
I'm listening.
For agriculture, they refuse. Blackmore and his ministry, his PF, and Reuben Black and Roosevelt Skerrit refuse to assist the farmers. While our sisters and brothers and sisters in Haiti, under gunfire, Matt, they're still extorting. There are certain people within the country extorting money from Haitians. We have people within the government, Matt, extorting money from the Haitians under their watch. You know, and not that they don't know, Matt. I'm wondering whether they're playing a blind eye for any particular reason, or whether they just decide to let the shit happen, Matt. You have to watch my words, Matt. But I'm telling you, these guys are heading a serious racket. There's a racket taking place in Dominica, Matt. And it's within their ministries.
Well, we're actually dealing with another injustice before us, Mr. Hilary Shillenford, and that of Mr. Vesco Jones. 10 years, he has not gotten justice. So what is your take on that? I mean, this guy has been begging, and now they're trying to start another tribunal. How fair is that? How fair is that?
But I think he's running out of patience, Matt, and I know it's not easy for a young man. His lawyer been for almost the same thing, Matt. This administration, once you're not bowing to their knees, they cannot get you where they want you, they will drag you, they'll push you, they'll stretch you as much as they can. That is the vengeance in Roosevelt Skerrit, Matt. Supported by people like Reuben Blackmore, Minister of National Security.
He's the one prosecuting all the politicians. Discourse John is a young man who has pleaded his case right through, and he has competence in terms of his attorney. By no doubt, Matt. Not trying to be flattering anybody. He has full level of competence backing him up. But whether you are the best lawyer in Dominica or the strongest lawyer in Dominica, and these people decide to drag your case, waste time, do what they have to do. These people are evil. They are evil, man. Look at what they're doing to the politicians. From Fontaine, dragging in. But they have family. And people that willing to live with them. That is a sad day to see people that calling themselves Christians. Reverend Blackmore heading the ministry. Man, that ministry self. That ministry just need a complete rehaul. Everybody that means something, that doing their work and the government feel opposed by it, they will attack you. And when he's talking his garbage, and that, again, I want to say, hats off to Festus Jones. That young man, if he wasn't a strong young man, he would be well into Skerrit bosom. And Skerrit would be happy to have him. But he has stood his grounds. Men that have much more than him falling to Skerrit. I want to say again, man, that Dominicans must make up their mind to move that government in power at any cost. And when you hear them talking their nonsense about illegal demonstration, as the big man Charles Savin said, there's no legality or illegality in demonstration. It's whether it succeeds or whether it fails. So if Dominicans coming forward to rid this country of them vagabonds, they must come in full force. Ensure that if we do not get electoral reform, if we do not see that government putting things in place, we're pushing them out and pushing them out once and for all. So tell Reverend Blackmore, there's no such thing about legal or illegal. It's whether it is successful or not. Reverend Blackmore is worried. That's what they do. Every time they're worried, they come there and try to create fear. But they can only create fear in some of the people. There are people who are prepared to stand, and at no time will people like Reverend Blackmore, Russell Skerrit, and the bunch of idiot police officers, corrupt police officers that are following them, taking illegal orders, going out there and attacking their fellow brothers for Russell Skerrit and Reverend Blackmore and the others. I mean, that is so sad. These guys, it is time for them to go.
Mr. Hilary Shenford, and I want to ask you a question specifically because you were a police officer. I think you rose to the rank of what? Sergeant?
Acting inspector several times.
Acting inspector. What is the difference then and now in terms of policing?
Well, there's no real comparison. If you don't only look at
there's no real comparison.
The activities of the police now compared to then, the police were at the top at one point in cricket, well, relatively so. Football, relatively so. The Dominica Volleyball Association was started by me at police headquarters, me and Bobby Olivachi and others in 1982. All those sports and games at police headquarters, everything you could find at police headquarters. Every afternoon, police headquarters was the resort for people to go and relax and officers to enjoy themselves. That is gone. The standard of discipline in the police force has deteriorated.
Why?
One reason is that you have two police forces in one.
You say two?
Two. You have the general police, permanent police force, but you also have a special constabulary that originally was intended to be temporary and occasional. It is now functioning as a permanent part of the police force. But the Police Service Commission has no jurisdiction over their discipline. It has no jurisdiction over their appointment. And it has no jurisdiction over their removal. Much of what they do, their entry and their exit, is determined by the politician. That is clearly contrary to the establishment of the Police Service Commission. One of the reasons for the establishment of the Police Service Commission is to was to isolate the police force and in relation to the Public Service Commission, to isolate the public service from the day-to-day injection of political influence in the operations, because it would lead to so many things that would not be in the best interest of good governance. Where a crime is obviously committed. There is no law that prohibits the police force from now investigating the whereabouts of the billions of dollars, where the evidence is clear that that money has been received but is not in the consolidated fund. The chief of police and the CID will suspect somebody stealing a bread and put him in jail. What greater suspicion we have, what greater reason we have to suspect that somebody has committed a crime in relation to those billions of dollars?
Do you think that any police officer now has the balls to arrest any politician?
None, and that is why you find most of them, they like the acting position, because it can be ripped off them just like that. And that is one of the yokes they keep in the necks of public officers. Don't speak, otherwise you're no longer acting in that position. Now, it's difficult for you as a public officer because you just sent your child to university, and the little stipend you get on the acting appointment, it is directed at paying a loan for your daughter's study, for your mortgage, your son's studies. Okay? So when that yoke is there, you become a slave, but you're not aware that you're a slave. You believe it's an upliftment. The slavish part of it is that you're bound to do whatever is dictated to you, right or wrong, because you depend on that money. So it can be fixed, but there must be people who are strong enough to take the position, make some sacrifices.
You see anybody at the top there willing to?
Not a single one.
Not one, Mr.?
Not one. If there is one, then let him or her stand up.
Come this year to deliver flowers, royal homegrown, the best for the
Q95, the big station, presents Kudos to Our Heroes. Our 17th Dominican national hero is distinguished Dominican-born international athlete Thea Lafong Gatson, Dominica's first historic Olympic triple jump gold medalist, having reached the highest level of excellence in the 2024 Summer Olympics in Paris. Our Kudos to Our Heroes Committee will recognize, honor, and award Miss Thea Lafong Gatson on Monday, October 28th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Q95, the big station, for her consistent, valuable, transformational contribution to sports, and particularly in the thrilling triple jump event. Miss Thea Lafong Gatson has inspired Dominicans, and especially the youth at home and abroad, in numerous ways, with her friendly, caring character, hard work, humility, and for her extensive contribution to Dominica's sporting culture, among many other delightful traits. She will always, without any doubt, be remembered as having encouraged and inspired her many fans, friends, and associates to reach out and strive for excellence and be the best that they can be at whatever they set out to do in their lifelong journey. She has already influenced many to reach the highest levels in sports, and some are now at the pinnacle of their careers. Kudos to Miss Thea Lafong Gatson, her wonderful husband Aaron Gadson, her mom Anastine, her dad Dorian, and members of her immediate family at home and abroad. Thea is indeed a true Dominican hero for instilling a positive mental attitude in the sporting dialogue, and for being a great Dominican who demonstrated that any ordinary person can do extraordinary things. Q95 family listeners at home, in the region, and worldwide. Tune in on Monday, 28th October from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Join us live on air or on Facebook or YouTube to appreciate, recognize, honor, award, and extend kudos to our 17th Dominican national hero, phenomenal sports icon, Thea Lafong Gadsden, only on Q95, the big station.
To be the best that they can be. Nothing can more retard a nation than this incentive and victimization. No drive to succeed, no honor to serve. When people cannot receive what they deserve, men who held their dignity in their commitment.
Pointe-moi, Tezole, the Dominica Diabetes Association is taking over. November, it's No Sugar November. Book the dates. November 1st, Domda will hold a press conference. November 6th, a panel discussion. November 9th and 10th, Domda's members will be attending church services. On the 12th, nutrition talks will be held at schools. On November 14th, a major press conference and fundus photography screening for diabetic retinopathy. November 15th, the Dominica Diabetes Association will host sidewalk health screenings outside of All Saints University. On the 16th, a diabetes health clinic and cardio jam will be held at Portsmouth with Jolly's Pharmacy. On November 17th, an awareness walk in partnership with The High will be held. And a cardio jam dubbed Dancing in the Streets will begin from 4 p.m. On November 20th. A major panel discussion will be held. And to top it all off, on November 27th, look out for published diabetic stories. The Dominica Diabetes Association is doing it big. No Sugar November. For more information and registration, call us at 767-316-7326. This ad is sponsored by the Dominica Diabetes Association and this station.
All right, Dominica, it's 2:39 in the afternoon. Somebody's, I think, responding to comments made by Mr. Richards earlier as it relates to, police taking over or doing the right things. And the person just said to me that no one in the police service can take over that job. Sadly, they all have been compromised. Yes. And that, my friend, is a big problem for Dominica and democracy as well as the rule of law. You agree, Mr. Richards?
I totally agree. I mean, you look at the top of the police force right now.
Yeah, yes, boys? Huh? Are they all yes, boys?
But just look at the method by which they arrive at where they are at. There was this certain police officer now who goes about hustling people. I remember how he used to be the attack dog for the United Workers' Party. You know who I'm talking about?
I know.
And what do you think he did? He cozied up to people. They facilitated him, and right now he walks like the biggest man in the rows, not realizing that he's only a piece of garbage.
You call him a piece of garbage?
I do call him so. Because you see, he used to be my friend. The minute they elevated him into that position, the man met me on the road, in the streets of Roseau, and would not even greet me.
He didn't say hi to you?
I had to follow him and say, "You're ungrateful," and I wouldn't tell you what else I call him. And then he's coming. Yesterday, he was trying to befriend me. I just looked at him like the same thing I just described him as. And I got about my business. So irrespective of how beautifully he is dressed, he looks nice in his uniform. Give it to him.
Okay.
But it's just like you will dress anything that is rotten. Do you understand?
I understand. Let's take a few phone calls. It's 2:41. Hello, talk to me. Yes?
Mark, you have the breaking news song next to you, Mark, because you're supposed to include that now, because I'm going to break some very important news there, Mark. Mark, I want to inform Dominicans that Anthony Hayden is in Dominica. I want to inform the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Valerie. You can try to arrest Anthony Hayden, please, because he's the one who has our missing billion. This is serious business, Dominican. Anthony Hayden is in Dominica right now. celebrating Creole with Skerrit and the Chinese, Dominicans. Look out for him so that we can ask Anthony Hayden for our money. We must stop making jokes to them people. Breaking news, Anthony Hayden Abdullah, the man Dice was asking to bring our money for us. He's in Dominica, people. Dominicans, Anthony Hayden, or your owner, is in Dominica. Prepare yourself to greet him. Thanks a lot, Matt.
Thank you for your breaking news, Brian. I'll try to confirm this one. Mr. Golden Richard, somebody's asking a question. I think the person is trying to call him, but can't. I would like to know if it is lawful for government to open an escrow accounts.
Well, yes, if the money does not belong to Dominica, but they hold it as to facilitate certain other business. All right, it is only when it's converted to Dominica's money that it can be put in a consolidated fund, so they can have it in an escrow account. But otherwise, if it's already earned by Dominica, it must go to the consolidated fund unless another law permit. That's what the Constitution says. Unless another law permits them to keep it elsewhere. So if I intend to purchase property on the basis that I'm expecting to get citizenship, but I paid that money up to government before I got the citizenship, the government cannot put that into the consolidated fund because the agreement has not been completed. The consideration from the government is the issuance of the passport not completed, and therefore that money cannot be transferred to the consolidated fund, or it not to be. Okay.
Some legal questions coming to you. Yes, so you have said, I think recently or earlier today, that we can't fire a PS, permanent secretary. Why don't you find out why they can't take a stand? Because the reasons that you're trying to advance at this time, they can't.
I don't think I said you can't fire a PS. I don't think so. If a PS does wrong, there are ways to discipline the PS. It's just a little difficult. The commission.
But should that position stand, the PS? I mean, we see in the United States, if you come in with your, I just want to use the word PS.
Yeah.
Change of administration, they're gone.
Well, that is in the United States, but in small countries like ours, is the very reason that they established the services commissions, because what you would have is politicians would come in with their political hacks, they axe you down, and then they go on with them, so you can't even find them to discipline them.
Well, why don't you offer them contractual arrangements?
Well, that is exactly where you will control them, because the contract will be specific terms and you are not bound to renew it. You still tie them to the terms of the contract.
So it's a good thing to have PSs in place.
It is a good thing to have permanent public officers. You have permanent public officers in the United States also.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So it is a good thing that you have them, but for example, a permanent secretary, let's take the financial secretary, chief accounting officer. If you had a financial secretary that was employed on short-term contract, then the accounting function that must be a very objectively executed, whereby the financial secretary can tell a minister, no, that is illegal, I'm not doing it. And there's nothing you say that can make me use this money for the purpose that you want me to use it. I'm not doing it. The minister has no ground to terminate that employment. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a pro and con to it. But the purpose for which the security is given to them, they do not serve that purpose. They become little political hacks, and everything the minister says, well, the minister says so. No, you can tell the minister, no, I'm not doing it. It is wrong. It's unlawful. Every financial secretary has the authority, has the power to say no to a minister. Even the minister of finance, if it is contrary to law.
Is it happening now?
No. You think when the minister of finance speaks, you just obey? No. If it is contrary to the Constitution, for example, how can you have a financial secretary that is bound by the Constitution, permitting monies that ought to be in the consolidated fund to be outside of Dominica in such large amount, but cannot point to a law that permits the minister to keep it out of Dominica?
All right, a lot to chew on this afternoon, 2:46, but we're still here. Mr. Vescott Jones, we're going to wrap it up in a while. And of course, so we'll talk to him in a minute. Hello, talk to me on the telephone.
Blessings to you, Mr. Pelty.
Blessings to you, sir.
Mr. Jones, my empathies goes out to you, and Dr. Blessings to you, sir.
How are you, sir?
The lawyer in the house.
Yes.
I haven't seen him in a while.
Uh-huh.
But it sounds strong. Matt, you see what has happened to we or us Dominicans, Matt? We live in maybe a subconscious, compartmentalized state where in the alphabet, we try to disconnect all the individual letters in the alphabet. So today's Vescott Jones, Vescott Jones and his family and those who empathize with him. Tomorrow are the nurses and those who empathize, the truckers, and we do not see our damn selves as a people with a common oppressor, a common enemy. Collectively, we are being oppressed by a common enemy, but we are fragmented in our resistance. 10 years, Matt, 10 years. A brother have been persecuted, taking care of his mother. Me as a diabetic, and I have had a few amputations on my toes, Matt, amputations on my toes. So I know what the brother is talking about. And for these criminals to be there, Matt, having a field day and laughing all the way to the bank. And Dominican sit down and wait. When is the Fisher folks tomorrow? When is the whatever tomorrow? And everybody have their own little compartment, Matt, talking about the problems, dealing with the problems, rather than we come with a constitutional overthrow brigade. A constitutional overthrow brigade. And in closing, Matt, the truckers, I have to congratulate the Dominica People's Truckers Association, although I feel maybe the leaders there may be traitors, maybe, Matt, it's just my own thing. But, Matt, that is what it takes. You need people to mobilize, organize, strategize, educate, influence, inspire. Where are the blood clot leaders in Dominica that claim to be leaders? What they hiding elsewhere, Matt? So really, Matt, we need something more drastic to deal with our problems collectively, because what is going to solve our problem is the collective commonality, which is poverty, and yet we yet to get our acts together, Matt, to realize it's only collectively we can fight these enemies that bring in foreigners, Chinese, Anthony Hayton, Gada Khan, and everybody that would blows on us, and with their drinking rum and smoking high-grade marijuana. Are you sick? Thank you.
All right, let's see if we can take a phone call. Are you there? Yes?
Yes, I'm there. How are you doing?
All right.
I keep telling you guys, you're not living in a democratic country. It's only on paper. In practice, you're living in a socialist country. And today I heard your so-called Minister of National Security talking. The man could not even pronounce the word anarchy. He used some kind of stupid word. I don't know where he got that from. This guy's a bunch of political parasites, and it's about time Dominicans wake up from their coma. Thank you.
All right, thank you too. Thank you. We have to wrap it up the discussion here this afternoon. So where you guys, when we leave here today, what's going to be the strategy going forward, Mr. Richards?
Well, Matt, from here, we just put you on notice that you will hear from us. Whatever step we take next, depending on where it goes, we'll contact you again. If we have to come back before you to report to the public again, we will.
Are you confident that something's going to happen, Mr. Vescott Jones? Are you confident something's going to happen?
Mr. Richards tell you what he think is right based on law. All I have to tell you, the Prime Minister, what he's doing to me is wickedness.
I say you keep stressing the Prime Minister.
It's wickedness. And I feel I reached 10 years, is plenty years. It's wickedness. He have 2 free children. I taking care of my mother. I talking around just like that. It's wicked. He would never want that for his son. He would, for his 2 sons, he would never want that for his daughter. How you would feel as a Prime Minister for you to lie down on a bed, or to there with one foot, or for his wife to there with one foot, and they victimize his daughter or his son. We see the other day what happened with his son. We see how we deal with it. And the reason I'm stressing on him, you cannot come to my home. You come to my home, you don't hear people tell you, you come to my home, village comes to bring you to my home, and you come and lie, and it's like try to make people believe you love eligible people, elderly people. It's lie. He's a wicked man. You don't like them. He using them. He feeding on their weakness for him to stay in power. That is what he doing. He don't love them. I'm the example. Show you love her. Show you love my mother. You can't show you love my mother by giving her $1,000. No, and you victimize her son. How much he is? So he's the wicked one. And the prime minister know, because he know how I spoke to him in the house in front of everybody. He see the way I talk to him. How you expect to come and talk to me and expect me to feel any other way? You say you're going to fix the matter. You never had no intentions of fixing the matter. The matter going for how long? How long? The matter that caused so much destruction. It's a family division. It's a family division now with the crabback matter there. The prime minister is the one, and Blackmore and Badwilla caused that. It's a family now that don't talking to me. It's a family that they don't even know how to talk to me, because I stand my ground. And it make me see how wicked they be. And you know when I gonna make them know how wicked they be? My mother now in the position where my mother accept where she is in terms of how she feeling and her sickness. They're going to come a point in time when people going to start to speak out, for all the wickedness that going on there. It is not fair. 10 years is too much. It's too much. 10 years. You want to tell me the prime minister going to be the independence time? We're not independent. Young people not independent in Dominica. We're not independent. We're not free. We cannot do what we want to do. We cannot do what is right. You want to tell me you're going to there trying to give a good speech and lie to people and create like Dominica independent? Independent, you want everybody to live like you. You want everybody to be like you, think like you. I cannot think like I grew up with a mother and a father. If you grow up with a mother alone, you expect the two of us to be the same? No, we cannot be the same. We cannot be the same. We not respect me. We cannot be the same. Bible, put your shame somewhere. You know, I tell you, put your shame somewhere and try to do good. Something wrong. Agree where you're wrong. Agree where your wrong is. Something is wrong.
And he's speaking directly to him.
I'm speaking directly to him. You come in my house. You disrespect my father by giving my mother $1,000. My mother is not the head of the home. My mother not well. You give it to the husband or give it to me and say, well, this is for your mother. Don't try to do that. That is disrespect, and it's showing when somebody grow and how they grow. You cannot come and feed on my mother weakness for nonsense. You come and trying to play things. It don't never happen again. And this case,
you will not allow it to happen again.
Matt, this case, I have nothing much to say. This case, they don't realize now is the season. They don't realize what's happening. Matt, remember, it takes one cane to break the camel back. You see, this case, the tears and the division and the shame and the embarrassment, it's not going to go away. If the prime minister don't go on his knees and ask for forgiveness and get up in his sleep and say to fix the matter, this matter, because by saying it's like he acting like he don't know, and he want to play like, well, he don't know. Curtis Matthew, since before they asked him the question in the press conference, Curtis Matthew, he tell me he was going to ask him the question. The prime minister know Curtis Matthew going to ask him the question. Curtis Matthew ask me for an interview. I tell him I want to be live on DBS. Don't come and give me an interview on that tree to come and cut and paste what and do what. I want to be live. He tell me he going to talk to them. When he called me back, he said, boy, no, but I said, no, they don't agree for that. They don't want that.
You had to ask somebody to do
that? Of course, yes. You have to ask somebody. And I know it's call and call and call. Matt,
he had to ask somebody
he
to do
have
that
to,
interview.
for me to go on DBS.
Like
Like, Matt, the Prime Minister is the one. He should be ashamed. As a Prime Minister, he should be ashamed. And you know why I could say that?
Yes.
I meet sometimes I can say, Mr. Richards, X, Y, and Z, because we never meet in the position.
Right.
I meet the Prime Minister in his comfort zone, in his office. I see his weakness. I see his lie. He never know that was the type of person I was. But I see his weakness. From the first time he meet me, he had to deal with it straight. I feed in his hands and I gave him the opportunity to feed. I wanted to see him. I wanted to understand him. He believed 10 years is just passing. So that was the best time of my life. I am 39 years. The best time of my life cannot be passed like that. The Prime Minister knows the wickedness he do. And he want to come to Marigot and smile. It's not happening again. It is not happening again. He cannot be smiling, coming to my home and smile and pretend like, well, or how can you victimize you come to my father sit down, and he was just looking at the Prime Minister. So the Prime Minister don't know what that means. You victimize the man's son for how much years? You see the man watching you inside the house. You don't know what that means? Matt, the system in Dominica creating criminals. That is how the Prime Minister trying to operate right now. And you know why Blackmore talking rubbish? Before, people used to afraid to demonstrate and afraid to do things. They don't put in fear in people now. They're scared. It's them not scared now. Because people don't care now. 10 years you suffer. What you living for now? I have a daughter. What you think I living for now? 10 years? No, boy. I have to get justice.
Enough is enough.
But enough is enough. I think don't read between the lines. Enough is enough.
All right. Well, this is where we have to go. And as Mr. Gilden Richards indicated, I mean, you'll be back, or he might be back, and he'll explain the way forward. But gentlemen, it was a pleasure talking to you this afternoon there. I can tell the emotions, I can feel the emotions there from Mr. Vesco Jones. Mr. Richards, thank you very much.
Thanks for having us, Matt.
Any final comments before you go?
My final word is that my client needs justice. The arbiters of justice heard his case.
Mm-hmm.
We are awaiting the decision of that tribunal. If anybody wants to refer us to another tribunal, they need to explain to us why we have not gotten the decision of the first tribunal. We don't live in a dictatorship. The minister must never consider herself to be one. I don't want to accuse her to be one because I know who is the dictator. But even dictators fall. We have Bokosa, we have Somoza, we have Amin, and you can go on and on and on. Each and every one of them had a specific time. And when that time came, what happened? They disappeared.
They fell.
Thank you.
Thank you. I heard Mr. Edison James said some time ago, we may be dealing with a ticking time bomb. Obviously, we may be. I leave you on that note. Mr. Vesco Jones, thank you again for coming.
It's time to have him.
Thank you. At this point, we're gonna, of course, go to the Windsor Park or the gardens, the Botanic Gardens, for the activity taking place there. TV Lash Creole, go on, give support.
So what we're gonna do is take a word from our sponsors. We're gonna catch a word from our sponsors, and that is our alleged hot topic sponsors.